Hey, beauties. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. We in this thing, right? We are in here. Happy Monday, you guys. I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. Um, I hope you have been showing up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of showing everybody else who you is, I hope you have been showing up for yourself. Hey, beauties. Happy day, y'all. I'm so happy that y'all we are here, okay? I'm just like so proud of us, okay? I am so happy, all right? Um so I see you guys are starting to check on in, but before you get comfortable, girl, before you get comfortable, I want you to sit with something, y'all. Listen, we are getting started early, okay? I want you guys to sit with something. 7 days, every choice, every yes and no. Would it tell the truth about who you are becoming? I told y'all we are starting early. We are starting early. I'm going to say that again. 7 days, every choice, every yes and every no. Would it tell the truth about who you are becoming? All right. Yeah, y'all go ahead and let that marinate for a second. Okay. I want you guys to marinate. Okay. Because we are showing up today, y'all. We are showing up. We doing a big one today. Okay. Because that's exactly what we are getting into tonight. Okay. Becoming the person that you are continuing to talk about. Okay. That is the type of time that we are on tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and clock that T real quick. All right. Okay. While everybody is joining in, let's talk for a second, okay? Because I want you guys to go ahead and take your time and join in and everything. So I want to drop something in the chat, okay? I'm gonna drop something in the chat and I want you guys to respond, okay? We are conversing back and forth, okay? That is what tonight's conversation is about, ladies, okay? What is one word you would describe her? Who is her? And when I say her, I mean the woman you are becoming. Who is her? Who is her? One word. One word. Okay. Y'all, I got home. I said, you know what? I'm slipping on something comfortable. I was like, your girl gotta have on something real comfortable. I needed to breathe a little bit. If you just get home, and you get off work and you just want to take off all your clothes. You know what I'm saying? TMI, PG. I ain't talking about like that. I'm just saying you just want to relax, okay? So I want you guys to get comfortable, okay? Clear that up real quick, okay? So one more time for those who are joining in, drop in the chat one word you would use to describe her, the woman you are becoming, the women you are becoming, okay? The women you are becoming, okay? Now, one thing I would like to say is I love seeing y'all pull up on Monday. Girl, yes. Some of you had to have the talk with yourself into showing up today, y'all. And I see you. You are showing up. You know what I'm saying? And I am glad, not only glad, but I am grateful that you decided to share your presence with us. Okay. So we are humbly grateful for that. Okay. We are so grateful for that. All right. Let's go ahead and get some mirrors in the chat, y'all. Let's go ahead and get some mirrors in the chat for a second. Okay. Let's get some mirrors in the chat. Let's get some mirrors in the chat. All right. Let me put my phone on silence. I was tripping. I was tripping on the kid. Hold on real quick, y'all. So tripping. I was too tripping. I'm like, what is that noise? Your phone? My phone making all this noise. Okay, hopefully we got it turned off now because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what was going on with it because I normally keep it on silent. But anyways, let's get some ears in the chat so we can see who is in here. Let's see who is in here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in to Dear Me, I Am Me. We about to get started on tonight's live. We are beyond grateful to have you guys in here in the chat with us. Guys, in here in the chat. Like I said, my phone is showing out. But we getting it together, yeah. We're getting it together. I just want to make sure. Okay. All right, we good. All right, y'all. We are finally good. Now, beauties, before we begin, okay, welcome to Dear Me, I Am Me Workshop, a weekly space for women who are becoming themselves. Okay. Again, through honest conversation, guided journaling, and intentional personal growth. Okay. I'm your host, Tashiana, and if this is your first time in this space, hey girl, how you doing? We are so happy that you chose tonight in your presence to be here tonight. Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat so we can welcome you, girl. Yes, that is what tonight is all about. Hey, sis. Hey, hi, beautiful. Hope you are having an abundant day, love. Happy day to you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. So, like I said, we can welcome you, especially the newbies. If you are new, let us know what city you are joining from so we can welcome you, girl. And you never know, a workshop might be held in your city. All right. So, if you have been here before, welcome home, beauty. Welcome home. Okay. And as always, special shout out to the Dear Me, I Am Me community for always joining us in our private chats. Thank you guys for showing up, sharing this space, and also growing alongside with us each and every week. Okay, we are so grateful to have everyone here tonight. Go ahead and grab your journals, your Dear Me, I Am Me worksheet. I want you guys to know that for those that are new, when you sign up to the Dear Me, I Am Me community, this is going to be the first worksheet that you're going to get. It's going to be a couple of pages, okay? This is going to be the first worksheet that you're going to get, okay? It says a guided reflection for self-awareness, healing, and personal growth, okay? You're going to have to use the prompts to reconnect with yourself, okay? And it's all about you writing with honesty, okay? That is what journaling is about because you can't fake what you write in that journal, right? So we asked you guys a couple of questions. This is you reintroducing yourself to yourself all over again, okay? And then after that, once you are actually in the community, then you're going to start getting private reflection worksheets, okay? So we're going to go over a couple of questions tonight, but we go full in detail on Wednesday. So for those that are new, go ahead and get your Dear Me, I Am Me reflection worksheet inside of the Dear I Me community. And like I said, we have provided the link for you guys. Oh, and girl, don't forget, have that candle, get in a comfy spot. Y'all already know how we do. Like let's remove all these distractions and grab your favorite drink, your favorite tea, whatever you feel like sipping on tonight, okay? Because this is about you tonight. All right, all right, all right. So tonight we will be discussing becoming the person you keep talking about. Okay. Becoming the person you keep talking about. Okay. And the reason why we are talking about it is because it is easy to talk about the woman we want to become, right? It is very easy to say, you know what, girl, I want to be this, I want to be that. Like, especially like growing up, we say, you know what, I want to be this woman, I want to be that woman. Okay, we got a little older. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Some of us had to change careers, you know what I'm saying? Some of us had to change different lifestyles and stuff, whatever. It is very easy to say, the woman you want to become, right? And it's very easy to follow other clips on how to become her, right? However, however, it is harder to actively become her. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like I said, don't just have me out here just talking to myself. Talk to me in the chat, okay? It is harder to actively become her, okay? So we are going to talk a little bit. We already went in a little bit on identity, but we're going to talk a little bit about identity, right? We're going to talk about the habits that she has to become her, okay? The boundaries that she keeps, right? The decisions that she makes, right? And why the future version of you is built by the choices that you have no choice but to make today, okay? Because she isn't built overnight, okay? She is not built overnight, okay? And I know some of you may be like, oh my gosh, Tashiana, we have already talked about this, okay? Why are you speaking on this again, right? Right? And let me be real with you. Let me be real with you, okay? Because you have to do the work. You have to do the work. And you can't expect results. You can't expect results when you're doing partial of what you're supposed to do in order for you to become her. Okay? And the truth is 20%, 20% are willing to do the work. So since 20% are willing to do the work, guess what that means? We have more work to do. It's not time to play around. You want to become her, you want to lead, but it takes a lot of work in order for you to lead. It takes a lot of work in order for you to become her actively. Okay? Yeah, I'm sitting back here and I'm like, I'm getting a lot hot. Why my butt got this heater on back here? I am tripping. I am tripping. But before we continue, y'all, let's check in. Y'all thought I forgot, huh? Let's check in, okay? How is your mental on a scale of 1 to 10? How is your mental on a scale of 1 to 10, sis? I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all mine today. Let me tell y'all mine. All right, let me see. I'm going to put mine in the chat. I got to get another keyboard. All right, I just put mine in the chat. I'm an 8 today, y'all. I'm feeling pretty good. Like there were some uncomfortable moments at my 9 to 5 that I had to address, right? But I think that it's about how you speak to another person respectfully, right? So other than that, your girl is still an 8. We still gonna do what we gotta do, because at the end of the day, I'm still a woman and I have to represent myself top tier no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm an 8 today, y'all. So what is your number like today on a scale of 1 to 10? Not your confidence, not your motivation, your mental. Write that number down. If you are too shy to put it in the chat, write it down in your journal. And our reflection worksheets, we have a couple bars for you to be able to say what number you are as well, okay? And your number is not for you to judge it. Your number is not for you to judge. And I know you probably like, girl, how you gonna tell me it's not for me to judge it? You know what I'm saying? Don't judge it. Just write the number down. Okay. Just write the number down. Okay. Just notice it. This is your number. Okay. This is your number. Okay. 1 second. All right. So, quick disclaimer before we start. Y'all already know we have to get into the disclaimers before we start because that is what we do, right? Y'all already know how we get down. All right. So, the Dear Me, I Me program is designed to encourage self reflection, personal awareness, and emotional growth through guided journaling and intentional conversations. This program is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. The information, prompts, and discussions shared within the Dear Me, I Me program are not intended to replace professional, medical, legal, or financial advice. Participation in this program does not establish a therapeutic or clinical relationship. While many participants find journaling and self reflection supportive in their own personal journey, in their personal growth journey, individuals' experiences may vary. So, if you are currently experiencing severe emotional distress, mental health challenges, or require professional support, we strongly encourage you to seek guidance from a licensed therapist, counselor, or qualified health provider. Okay. By participating in the Dear Me, I Me program, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own well being, choices, and personal development throughout the program experience. The Dear Me, I Me program and its creator aim to provide a supportive and empowering environment. But results, breakthroughs, and outcomes will be different from each individual. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Hold on. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I don't know what I put right here. So take what resonates. Remember what you are carrying. You don't have to carry it alone tonight. Okay. So, most importantly, be gentle with yourself. Take a deep breath. Shake, 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 shake. Release. Release. Yeah. Clap it up for us tonight, y'all. Clap it up. Now let's begin, girl. Let's begin. So let's start with the root of it all, okay? We are going to start with identity. Like, why not start with her, okay? Because the truth is, you don't become her by accident, okay? You don't become her by accident. You become her by deciding over and over again who she is, okay? So think about the woman you keep talking about, right? Think about the woman you keep talking about, all right? The one who shows up for herself, okay? Who speaks with confidence, right? Who speaks with confidence, right? She's not a fantasy, right? She's not a someday, right? She's a version of you that's built brick by brick, right? And not by measuring someone else's success, right? But the identity you choose to participate in today. Okay. So let's actually paint her out, right? Let's paint her out, right? Because she can't stay, because she, how do I want to put this? Okay. Because she can't stay vague, right? Because vague never is built overnight, right? And I want to get into how does she act, right? How does the woman that you are walking into, how does she act, right? Y'all, am I freezing up on y'all side? It looked like I was freezing up for a second. I'm not sure. But how does she act, right? Like I said, like I said, she can't stay vague, right? How does she act, right? She isn't reactive. This person that you're becoming in, she's not reactive, right? When something goes wrong, she doesn't spiral, right? She pauses, she breathes, and she finds solution. Okay? Whenever there is a problem, she finds a solution, no matter what. Okay? She speaks up for herself with grace instead of replaying the conversation 3 hours later or what she wishing she would have said differently. Okay? This is how she acts, right? She doesn't shrink herself, right? She doesn't speak in ifs, maybes, or fear, right? Or as we all know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? And she refuses to speak negatively about herself, right? The woman that you are becoming, she understands that her words shape the life that she's building. Okay. Can I get some mirrors in the chat? Right. She knows the life that she is building. Right. And because she knows the life that she is building, she, like I said before, she know it has to be done brick by brick. Right. Right. So she chooses to speak life over herself. No matter what is happening, even when it's hard, she chooses to speak life. Right. Even when she doesn't fully believe it yet. Okay? Because every time she speaks life into herself, guess what happens, y'all? She's becoming the woman. Watch this. She's becoming the woman she's been praying to be. Right? Right? All right. So speak life by any means necessary through the good, through the bad, through the messy, through the ugly. Always speak life into yourself. Okay. So quick story. So in my car, right on my dashboard, I keep a sticky note, right? Now y'all already know, I'm a sticky note girly, okay? Like y'all already know this. Like this is nothing new, right? Of course, for my newbies, this is new, but for those who are home, y'all are always coming back. Y'all know I'm a sticky note girly. I'm always showing y'all, okay, there's a sticky note somewhere. Like, boom, here she is. Check her out. Be more decisive. Okay. Like I'm a sticky note type of chick, right? However, um, I wanted to speak on like me having to remind myself that if a negative thought shows up, I have to replace it immediately, right? So I have a sticky note that's on my dashboard that says, if something negative shows up, replace it, right? And I know some of you guys are saying, like, how do you replace it? First off, I want to say, you don't let it just sit there, right? Because if you just let that thought sit there, it's going to make itself very it's going to make you very comfortable, right? And the goal is for you to get uncomfortable, right? So the first thing that I do when I have a negative thought is that I switch it to something positive, right? Or that's when I'm in my car, I switch it to something positive. But when I'm home and I have an off day, the first thing that I do is that I journal. I go into like my prayer book. I also bring out my Palo Santo, my sage and stuff, or whatever, my crystals, and have a little session with myself. You know what I'm saying? Or I may speak to one of my friends who's also a coach and stuff or whatever, just to get like tips and also advice, because mentors have to be around mentors and coaches have to be around coaches, and women have to be supportive around other women. And that is what it's about, right? So instead, I intentionally shift my mind to something that brings me joy. right? Like I said, I switch my mind quick when I have a negative thought, right? I switch it to something that brings me joy, right? Something that I am very grateful for, right? Or a realistic goal I am working towards. I plant that in my brain. Why? I know you guys may be asking, why? Because I don't want a negative thought to dictate my entire day. That is why I don't want one negative thought to dictate my entire day or settle for a thought in my subconscious mind, right? And now I'm going to be thinking about this over and over and over again. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And neither do you. Okay? Neither do you, right? Because our minds are always listening to what we are repeatedly telling ourselves, right? And here's the thing. Hold on, you guys. Let me move my mic. Okay, can y'all? Okay, I feel like this way is like a little better because I had to like turn myself a little bit this way, so I wanted to be more like poised, right? Right. And here's the thing, okay? And here's the thing: the goal you're checking off right now, you'll never be this version of yourself before, okay? You're never walked this path before, right? So of course everything that you're feeling is uncomfortable, all right? Because growth is very uncomfortable, right? New habits feel awkward, right? And becoming someone different will always feel different at first, right? But we're not turning around because it feels uncomfortable. That is what we're not doing. We're gonna head straight on in that thing, right? We're gonna dive right on in it, right? So we already talked about, all right. So we already talked about how does she act, right? We talked about how does she act, the woman that you are becoming. How does she act? We just went over that, okay? Let's talk about how does she live, right? How does she live? Does her days have rhythm? Not does her days have rhythm and not chaos? She is not the woman that you are, but the women that you are willing to live like, she is not scrolling through life half present. Okay. She is intentional with everything that she do, right? We're talking about her home. We're talking about her calendar. We're talking about her mornings. Okay. They reflect someone who respects her own time. Okay. She rests without guilt. She says no without a paragraph of explanation. There's no need for that, right? She creates a life she doesn't constantly need a break from. This is how she lives. I'm going to say that one more time. She creates a life she doesn't constantly need a break from. This is her lifestyle, y'all. This is her lifestyle, right? I hear so many people saying that they want to retire, right? Listen, my goal is to have a lifestyle that I do not need a break from. I actually enjoy everything that I do, right? That is who she is, right? This is how she lives, all right? Because she finally realizes that how she lives each ordinary day is how she builds an extraordinary life. Okay? So you know how she act, you know how she live. But what does she look like? What does she look like? What do the version of who you are becoming? Who does she look like, right? And we're not talking about in size or a number, but in how she carries herself. Okay? How she carries herself. Okay? She stands up straight in a room. She doesn't shrink, right? She asks questions that she does not know. They're unfamiliar with her. She's unfamiliar with the questions, right? So she needs somebody to break them down a little bit more. She asks these questions, right? She dresses for herself, not for somebody else. She dresses for herself, right? Not for approval. She dresses for herself. When you dress for yourself and you carry yourself a certain type of way, oh honey, let me tell you something. That confidence starts to level up, okay? Because there's a calm on her face and in her body that comes from not performing anymore. Okay? And beauties. The woman you are actively becoming knows her self worth. And let me tell you something, the woman who knows her self worth, she is not on the table for anything. She does not negotiate her self worth. Her self worth comes first. And she no longer live in shame. Okay. See, this is some things that we have not talked about yet, right? And that is why it is very important that I wanted to go over this because, like I said, there's only a 20% that's willing to do the work, and the rest of the people they're not willing to do the work. So we have to continue to install this in y'all, okay? Because we didn't go over that part yet, right? Right? And when I talk about shame, I mean people have shame because of body image, because of money, because of addiction, because of aging, because of education, or being labeled because the truth is shame is something that we all experience. I don't care what level of a job title that you may be or how much money that you have or what kind of title, whatever it may be, all of us have experienced shame before, okay? And you have to get to a point of saying, this is me. This is who I am. Now, am I and I am courageous. This is who I am. And I am courageous. And I stand on that. Okay? So what does the woman you are becoming, what does she enjoy? Okay? She's not just working and surviving. Okay? She has a life and it is thriving. It is thriving. Okay? Maybe she moves her body because it feels good and not as a punishment. Okay? Maybe she reads. Maybe you like to dance, sis. Maybe you like to travel. Maybe you like to cook. Maybe you are a person like myself who just likes to create, right? That is one of your gifts. You just like to create, right? And she has hobbies that have nothing to do with the productivity, just joy. Can I get some mirrors in the chat? Can I get some mirrors in the chat? Just joy. Okay. See, identity isn't about who you feel like today, it's about who you decide to be. Who you decide to be, especially on the days you don't feel like being her yet. Especially on the days you do not feel like being her yet. Okay. And ladies, let me just say this now. Okay. Let me just say this now because I don't want anybody in here chasing the wrong thing. Okay. There is no perfect woman. Okay. Not at 20, not at 30 plus, not ever. Okay. Not ever. All right. Her isn't perfect. Okay. Her isn't perfect. She is just intentional. Okay. She is just intentional. Okay. She still has bad days. She still messes up, right? The difference is she keep choosing herself and learning to thrive each day. Okay? Okay? All right? So, you guys already have your journals, okay? Y'all already have your journals. All right? So, I want you guys to describe her in full details. All right? Describe the woman you are becoming in full details. How does she act under pressure? Okay? Write this stuff down. If you have your reflection worksheet, you guys already have the questions. All you got to do is write down your answer, girl. That's all you got to do. All right? But for those that are new, describe her in details. The woman that you are becoming, describe her in details. How does she act under pressure? What does a normal day look like in her life? How does she carry herself physically? Okay. What does she do for fun? Okay. What do she do for fun? Right? Just because she wants to, not because she has to, just because she wants to. Okay. All right. Now in chat, drop one word that describes how her carries herself in a room. All right. How does she carry herself in a room? I'm going to put my answer in here. All right. All right. I just put my answer in there for y'all. How does she carry herself in a room? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Now that you have named her, let's actually talk about what she actually does. Okay? What she actually does, okay? Because we spoke on identity, right? But identity without action is just a nice idea. Okay? It's just a nice idea. Okay? The woman you are becoming isn't built in the big dramatic moments. Okay? She is built in what y'all, this is what some, but y'all should know this actually. Y'all should actually know this. She is built in, what did we go over in GAP? Small what? We went over this in GAP. How is she built, right? Small decisions create what? Big transformations, right? That is how she is built. Small decisions create big transformations. If you have been following us on the Gap series, we went over this in every last one of the episodes. And like I said, if you are new to the Dare Me, I Am Me, y'all catch that replay on the Gap series, please. Catch the replay on the Gap series because all of this starts to connect. Okay. What does she do every morning? Okay. How does she treat her body, her time, her peace? Okay. Because the woman you are becoming, she has to protect her energy differently than the woman you are right now. Okay. She protects her time. Her time is very sacred, okay? Because it is, okay? A lot of us are trying to become her while still holding on to old boundaries, right? Or no boundaries at all, right? That's the gap. That's the gap. That's where disconnect lives, okay? So currently, my partner, my sister and I are all on this 90-day challenge, right? And this 90-day challenge is for the mind, the body, and the spirit right now. And let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all this. A 90-day challenge. Now, I already do. My lips are peeling. I already do the last week of the month, the 7-day raw detox, right? But let me tell y'all something. The 90-day challenge for your mind, body, and spirit, right? It is very humbling, right? Because let me tell y'all why. It shows me exactly where my discipline is solid and exactly where I have been talking a good game without backing it up. This 90-day challenge is different, okay? Some days I feel like I'm just being very transparent with you guys. Some days I want to skip it, right? Some days my boundaries get tested, right? By my own excuses before anybody else gets the chance to even see them, right? But that is the point. It's not about being perfect for 90 days. It's about proving to myself that I am going to show up even when I don't feel like it. So guess what I'm going to do? I still get up every AM. I already get up at 4:30, right? So sometimes I have to get up at 4. The earliest I get up is 4:30, right? However, I still have to get up because on the days that I don't feel like it, I still have to get up. I still have to do a little treadmill walk, right? I still have to do my journal. I still have to pray. I have to do some self-care on myself, right? I have to talk to myself, right? Like I have to, we still have to, we are doing no carbs. So I can't have no carbs right now, right? So the discipline is real, right? And you started to realize where you fall short at, right? But that is what it's for, right? So whatever your version of commitment looks like, sis, whether it's structured like our 90-day like our 90-day challenge, or just deciding to keep one promise to yourself, the thing is that the woman that you are becoming, because you are making yourself becoming more disciplined, she is not being built. You get what I'm saying? Like there are going to be days, like I said, that you're not going to want to do, and you're going to come up with excuses. But because you have implanted that repetition, like I said, that this 90-day challenge that we are, because we have implanted this 90-day chat, this 90-day repetition over and over again, the structure that you are building for yourself is going to end up creating structure, right? And it happens one commitment at a time, okay? Because you can't become her while still living in old boundaries. Like let's think about this. So I'm on a 90-day challenge. What do I look like in taking in mad carbs, not wanting to go on a walk, not wanting to read a book, not being actively disciplined on building my business, on being a mentor, being a coach, being in this group with you guys in the Dear Me, I Me community. When I say this 90-day challenge is pushing me in all different type of ways, it's making me actively completing goals, okay? Even when fear arrives, okay? But like I told you guys, when fear arrives, guess what happens? You got to dive right on in. You got to dive right on in. And that's the gap, okay? That is where the disconnect lives, okay? So here's a reflection question, okay? Here's a reflection question that you guys can write down. Like I said, this is for you guys, okay? Now, on Wednesdays, we go through these questions together, right? However, if you're not there yet, just go ahead and write this down in your journal, okay? What is one habit her, if you are new joining in, her is the woman you are becoming. That is who her is, okay? So let's start over. What's one habit her has that you don't currently practice? Yeah. Yeah, I ain't never got that question before, right? What? Say this one more time. Her is the woman you are becoming. What is one habit her has that you don't currently practice? Okay. And what's one boundary she holds that you have been avoiding? All right. That you have been avoiding. Okay. Meaning it could be a boundary with, let's say, with your time, like not answering your calls after work after 7 p.m. It can be a boundary with yourself, like not shaming yourself for a day you didn't get something done, right? Because some of us, when we have tasks and stuff, like when something isn't complete on our list, we start shaming ourselves, right? But remember, that is why in our previous conversations we talked about that A, B, and C tasks, right? We spoke on you have to be able to complete one task at a time, right? With quality work, nothing less. With quality work, nothing less. Okay. And if y'all want to know about the A, B, and C task, it's basically you write down three goals: your A, your B, your C. You don't move on to your B and your C until you complete A. Right. And that helps you to not shame yourself on getting everything done because you're taking time out one step at a time. That is what that's about. Okay. So, and as you are doing it, you are doing that with quality work, nothing less. Okay. So let's talk about the last piece of tonight's discussion: decisions. Decisions. Okay. And I want to be honest with you guys here. Okay. Because this is the part people skip past the fastest. Okay. All right. All right. Y'all give me one moment. I need to put some tea tree oil on my lips because they are peeling. And once they start to peel, I get to messing with them. Okay. I'm just being honest. Okay. So I need to get these lips together. Okay. So, like I said, decisions. Okay. So nobody become her because of one big moment, right? Never. Okay. Not one seminar, not one vision board, not one emotional breakthrough at midnight. Okay. She is built when you turn off that TV and you go to bed on time. Okay. These are the decisions that she's making, right? And the truth is, nobody is proud of you for it, right? Because you have to make that decision to go to bed early, right? Right. The person that the woman that you are becoming, right? She is built when you say not tonight. All right. To the plans that don't serve you, right? And especially in the moments when nobody notices the difference. Okay. She is built in the workout that you are doing at home alone. Okay. Like I said, me waking up at 4:30 in the AM on the 90-day challenge and I'm on that treadmill. Okay. All right, ladies, y'all get what I'm saying? With the curtain closed. Okay. Ain't nobody seeing what's going on early in the AM, right? She is built when you follow through on the promises that you made for yourself, right? These are your promises that you made to yourself, not anybody else's, right? She is built in what I just say, quiet repetition. All right. The version of you that shows up when there is no reason to accept that, no reason for you to accept that you said that you would. It was a little tongue twister, so I had to break that down, right? I'm gonna say that one more time. The version of you that shows up when there is no reason to accept that you said that you would. This is how she is built. Okay. And I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be honest with y'all. I had to learn this the hard way. Okay. I had to learn this the hard way. Okay. Because it is easy to want the results of discipline without wanting the boring part. Okay. And repetition is part of that, which actually creates it. Okay. You have to get over the boring part. Okay. But the boring part is not going to be easy. And that is the messiness. Okay. It caught myself choosing what was easy and calling it girl therapy. Okay. When really I was just avoiding what I already knew what needed to be done, which was handle the boring part, the messiness, right? And stop wanting easy results. Learn it and just do it the hard way. Because the easy route is always not the best, does not always provide the best results for everyone. Okay. So here's what nobody tells you: most of us becoming, most of us becoming will happen with, most of us becoming will happen with an audience of one. Y'all know who that one is? Will happen with an audience of one. Do y'all know who their audience is? You. 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 And that is exactly why it can be hard. Okay? Because we have been trained to do things when witnesses are around, for the likes, for the follows, for the good job, for the handshake, for the pat on the back. But she isn't built off of the applauses. Okay? She is built off of what you do when the applauses isn't coming. And I'm going to say this as plain as it can be. If you're only disciplined when somebody is watching, you don't have discipline, sis. You don't have discipline. You have a performance. Okay. And performances end when the curtain closes. Okay. Her life doesn't have a curtain. All right. So today isn't about a dramatic transformation, it's about decision made quietly. Okay. That only you will ever know about. This is where she actually lives. Okay. So, all right. Next journal question. All right. Next journal question. All right. What is one decision you have been making for an audience instead of for yourself? Okay. What is one decision you have been making for an audience instead of for yourself? Okay. What would you choose differently if no one ever found out either way? All right. This is for you. This is for you. Y'all already know how we doing it. How we feeling? Should we loosen up a little bit? Mm, 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 mm. Poo, 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 poo. Turn it up. 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 Okay, beauties. Before we close today, I want you to do one last thing. Okay. I want you to do the last one thing. Okay. While you have your journal. Okay. I want you to write a short letter from you right now to her, the woman you are becoming, the woman you keep talking about. All right. I'm going to say this again. Write a short letter from you right now to her, the woman you keep talking about, the woman you keep talking about. All right? Write that short letter. All right? Please don't forget. Okay? Tell her what you are doing today to get closer to her. Tell her what's been hard. Tell her you see her, right? And you're not giving up on becoming her. And when you write this, queen, take your time with it because there is no rush. Okay? There is no rush. Okay? So, beauties, before we go, I have something I have been waiting to share with y'all. I have something I've been waiting to share with y'all. For months, we have been meeting every Monday, okay, on our online workshops on YouTube and also on TikTok every Monday, right? However, we have had some really honest conversations, right? Some vulnerable conversations, some conversations where we have no choice but to speak truth, right? Right? And every week one thought keeps coming back to me. One thoughts keep coming back to me. What would it feel like if we were all in the same room? Right? And truth is, I won't actively become her if I didn't say what needs to happen, right? What needs to happen, right? So today, I am so excited to officially announce that our very own Dear Me, I Am Me in person workshop is happening in January. We are taking Dear Me, I Am Me off the screens and into the room, okay? This is not about a conference, all right? We won't be having a conference, all right? It won't be about pretending to have it all together, okay? This is not that kind of in-person workshop, right? It's going to be an intimate space for women to reflect, journal, connect, and continue on becoming the woman they have been talking about becoming actively. All right. So if you have been saying this year is going to be different, girl, I want you to I want you to invite. I personally, I just got excited. I want to personally invite each and every last one of you beauties to put action behind those words, girl. Yes, okay. Because I think this conversation is going to prepare us for what we will be experiencing together in January. All right. So don't miss it, girl. Yes. Can I get some mirrors in the chat? I'm so happy. So happy. Like I said, dear me, I am me in person January. More details have been dropped in the Dear Me, I Me community, and seats are limited. Seats are limited. A link will be provided in the description to sign up. Okay. So if you have been watching the replay, let your girl know in the comments, okay? And if this workshop has blessed you, has made you smile, and has had you just have like honest moments, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone else who you know who may need the conversation. And don't forget to join the Dear Me, I Me community where we go deeper than the live workshops. Okay, we do this with guided worksheets, midweek check ins, journal prompts, and honest conversation designed to help you apply what we are learning together. Okay, I see you beauties next Monday. So until then, keep choosing yourself one day at a time because every small decision is shaping the woman you are becoming. So, as always, hold up. Don't forget, Dear Me, I Am Me in person in January. Details is in the description. Don't wait on it, okay? But, anyways, y'all, peace, love, and laughs. See y'all later.